questions for the Huskers?
Well, did that feel like a Big Ten battle knockout? They just think you got them down, they come back up and fight again.
Yeah, 1,000%. I felt like we definitely got punched in the mouth near the end of the third set, and it honestly just reminded me of like why I came to play here, and just major kudos to UCLA and USC and just any of the new guys in the Big Ten. I feel like, you know, like they were in their conference, they were probably the big fish, and just to come into such a competitive conference and to show out like that tonight was really cool.
Yeah, in the Big Ten it's always good. Every single team is good, so you can't really underestimate or assume anything's gonna happen. So just trying to stay locked in and focused, and at the end just trying to push and push and push until we get the win.
What's the feeling when they're going on that 10-0 run and Taylor, you're on the bench at that point? I mean, what's the feeling when you're watching that happen and you just want to break that somehow?
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of stuff that we've been talking up as a team, just reflecting on our match against SMU. We talked, or I guess like now we're talking a lot about competitive maturity. So, you know, we're aware of what we did last year. We're aware of the kind of team that we can be, and we can be during practice and certain matches, but also recognizing when we're not making adjustments after they do. But yeah, just when they went on that 10-0 run, we realized that we weren't making adjustments fast enough, and then, you know, obviously pulling it out in the fourth.
Like when I'm on the bench, I kind of just think of just giving a lot of energy, especially when there's not too much energy going on since we are down by so much. So then also just when I get my chance to go back in, just doing my job and making sure that my team is locked in, we're all doing eye contact, all those little things in between those plays that still keep us together.
How did you all switch your attention to the fourth set after losing the third set and like when you almost had it?
Right.
I think just going back to the basics, going back to what Nebraska volleyball is all about, not really trying to overcomplicate anything, and just honestly give credits to the team because they did a really, really good job. So just bouncing back and saying, what can we do to improve on what we just didn't do in the third set?
Yeah, exactly that.
Thanks. Rebekah, what did Taylor add to this team coming off the bench for 13 kills?
Dude, what didn't she add? Are you kidding? I felt like one of my favorite things about having her on the court is just her demeanor. So whether it's after an error or after a kill, it could be a bounce or a tip, it's just like the same girl every time. And so she just kind of provides that stability, especially when teams go on those kinds of runs. But yeah, getting those kind of numbers and kills is always awesome. I mean, that's like always exciting to have that. You know, it just shows the talent on our team. You're welcome.
Taylor, how did it feel for you just having a season high? And I know you talked about your why with Nebraska too.
I just think taking every single point as it is, just because, I mean, nothing's guaranteed at Nebraska and it shouldn't be. So just making sure that when I am in, just taking advantage of it. And Coach always says be the game changer. So that's my mindset, just because I am playing for all these guys and I just care about them so much. And I just want us to be able to be as successful as we can be. Just making sure that I'm always locked in, always focused, and just giving as much as I can at any given point.
UCLA was a top 25 offense coming in. You guys had them this season low in hitting. How would you evaluate the defensive performance tonight?
I would say it was up and down, but for the most part, like, it was journeying up. I mean, Lexi Rodriguez, dude, like, she's a machine. I'm replaying this one day in particular. I can't remember who hit it, but I mean, just her composure. She is just a veteran through and through. But yeah, I mean, coaches, you know, we're known for our defense. We've been known for our defense for, honestly, probably a couple decades at this point. But we just realized that having those valuable touches, converting those touches into plays and kills and stuff like that is huge.
Rebekah, how have you seen Bergen improve defensively, either with digs or up on the net with blocking?
I mean, yeah, there was one play, I think we all know what I'm talking about, that stuff she had. I mean, that was awesome. Just her recognizing that I was up with the setter, and she stepped in and she made that play. I think that she's grown a lot, and I think you can even see some sass come out, and I love that stuff. I love it when we get a little sassy. So, yeah, I think she's grown a lot as a defensive player.
You see Sassy Bergen a lot in practice? Or
Here and there. Mm-hmm. Here and there, yeah. Kind of, sprinkled in.
Rebekah, how did you and Bergen adjust? You had only 3 kills the last couple of games, and you had a big night tonight.
Yeah, I would say, if not all of it was on my end. I was coming back from having a knee injection done back in the spring, and then just trying to get back into, competitive, successful shape that I was back in December. And so it's just been, me trying to connect back with Bergen, and because she's always like the ball is always in the same spot with her, and so yeah, it was just having hard conversations and just being really vulnerable, not only just with her but with the rest of my team. It's like, hey, like I'm working on this and we're gonna get there, and so I think I'm just happy it clicked tonight. So.
Final questions?
Rebekah, I think every match your brother finds the big screen here. What does that support mean from him and just getting to continue that relationship post-college?
It means a lot. He is one of the rocks in my life, and he just is a man of enthusiasm. Like, he is high on life. And so it brings me a lot of joy that Husker Nation recognizes that, and he gets his moment, even like you could say like at my events. But yeah, he's just always been the guy. He's been a number one supporter. It could be any made-up sport, he'll be there. He'll be your number one fan. So it means a lot.
Taylor, you've been through the Big Ten before. How is it different going through the Big Ten now that you're with Nebraska?
I just think it's a different atmosphere, especially activating. It's just so much louder and so much more energy. So I just really appreciate that. But then also just being with a completely different team, I just have to adjust to the Nebraska way of volleyball and just kind of not looking at the past and just looking on to the future.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.